Hello and welcome to the Winning Post. I'm Mohit Lalwani to bring you all the horse racing action from India and other parts of the world. Well, the Indian Oaks, sponsored by the Poonawalla Group, is our main race this Sunday. Let's take a look at the contenders and how they shape up against each other. Remember, Godspeed, the winner of the 1,000 guineas, will line up in this race. And a great matchup because trained by Malesh Naredu, she will be taken on by the mighty stable of Pacey Shroff.
After the 1,000 guineas, it is that time in the Mumbai racing season where the ladies once again show off their prowess in a contest of speed, stamina and skill, otherwise known as the Indian Oaks. This year's running of the Oaks, or the Ladies' Derby, has 11 fillies going head-to-head in this contest over 2,400 metres. The battle, however, is between two, as Malesh Naredu and Pacey Shroff cross swords once again with their runners Godspeed and Tiger Tops. Godspeed, trained by Malesh, is the winner of this year's 1,000 guineas, who had earlier won the Deccan Bookmakers Fillies Championship Stakes and the Bangalore Summer Million, taking her tally to 5 wins from 6 starts. And while the filly has done nothing wrong so far, the only chink in her armour seems to be her staying capability. She will be stepping up to 2,400 metres for the first time, but her master, who seems like there's no stopping him, has full confidence in his charge.
I have a filly who's won the 1,000 guineas, Godspeed, running the Indian Oaks. And, she's doing quite well. The weather is favouring her because she is a little bit dry and being a lovely weather, she's enjoying herself and showing a lot of improvement since that Guineas race. She worked very well. She had a slight setback in that particular time when I wanted to run the Guineas. I didn't have enough time. And after all her setbacks, she still came and won. That herself showed what a class she has. And now she's done well after that race, and touch wood, keep her fingers crossed, and hope she makes us proud again in the Oaks.
At the Thursday morning track work, Godspeed did well with Suraj Naredu on top over 1,000 metres, clocking 1 minute 8 seconds, taking 40 seconds for the last 600 metres. She galloped alongside Rio, easily finishing 2 lengths ahead.
As the training part goes, then I don't think I have any doubt about her staying, because she's showing all the ability of a staying horse. She has a lovely temperament, she has a ton of foot, she can switch off and come also, so I don't think it should be a problem of her staying. She's not very good at to look at, but her record speaks for herself. She's a great performer. Yeah.
Tiger Tops, on the other hand, has a success record of 5 wins from 8 starts. She has already raced on and proven her ability over the 2,400 metre trip, having won the Calcutta Oaks less than a month ago and running a game second to Quasar in the Calcutta Derby just last week. Judging by her record, she seems in peak form and edges out Godspeed on that basis alone.
Well, I think the filly has actually done very well. She's travelled very well. She hasn't had a very hard race in the Cal Derby, and I think she's at her level best just now. So I don't think it should be that big a deal for her at the moment, at least.
Even though Godspeed has more wins to her credit, Tiger Tops is the one who everyone believes will be the one to beat here.
I think this race is going to be very close between Tiger Tops, Aquamarine and Malaysia's filly Godspeed. Godspeed definitely has the class. She's won the 1,000 guineas, and the only question is, will she stay the 2,400? I know my filly stays, Aquamarine does stay. My filly has got the form, and she'll take a lot to go down.
Well, I think that the horse to beat will be Tiger Tops, not Godspeed in this race, because I think she stays. She's shown she stays. If she comes back from Calcutta, she does the trip well, she'll be the one to beat, not Godspeed. I don't think it's her to beat. It's the other one.
I think if Tiger Tops comes down from Calcutta, she will be the danger.
Another top contender to watch out for is Aquamarine, Pacey Shroff's other runner, who has won 2 of her 3 starts, including the Maharashtra, Gujarat and Goa Trophy over 2,000 metres a month ago. In her morning track work, Aquamarine with TK Ashish on board matched strides with FLRTs, clocking 1 minute 35 seconds over 1,400 metres, taking 38 seconds for the last 600 metres. Aquamarine pleased in her track work and finished 2 lengths ahead of the latter. Her connections have confidence in her staying ability, but know that she isn't the best in the field.
She's short of experience.
She's run only 2 races. So let's see. It's difficult to beat Tiger Tops, I think. See, the only main problem with her is that she's dry coated. So I really don't know how she'll go. But she's a good horse, no doubt, and she'll go the distance.
She's being a staying sort of filly. She was, I mean, they always sort of mature late. She's just about come to hand now, and we're expecting her to have a good race. Yeah, it's obviously a limitation. I mean, there's no doubt about it that whenever there is something wrong with a horse and she's not doing it right, it's got to have some kind of a drawback. But on the other hand, I have not owned a single classic winner which has not had something wrong with it. So we're hoping for the best. Yes.
Dallas Todiwala has a runner in the big one in Tatiana, who, although is a good filly on paper, has suffered a recent setback while travelling to Hyderabad for the 1000 guineas, putting a spoke in her preparations for the Oaks.
Unfortunately, Mahendra, she had a very bad setback. She was going to Hyderabad for the 1000 guineas and she hurt herself very badly in the float, and that upset my whole preparation. We've got her back. I've given her a mock race and trying to pick up her fitness as much as I can. God willing, she'll run well in the Oaks. The mock race wasn't so satisfactory, but after that she's been working well, and she's a very temperamental filly, so we've got a lot of hurdles to cross before even running the race, leave alone winning it.
Looking at her race record, the filly has 2 wins from 6 starts, with her best performance coming in the Nanoli Stud Pune Derby, where she ran 4th. She seemed comfortable on the 2000 metre trip and will be stepping up to the 2400 metre trip for the first time, but considering her recent setback, it might prove difficult for her to put up a good performance.
Her good run was basically the Pune Derby, where she's finished 4th behind Quasar. She's definitely got a chance on paper, but as I said, she's got too many hurdles to cross. She's very temperamental, she's come out from an injury, she's not had a good mock race, so we're just leaving it up to the man on top.
SK Sundarji's runner Classic Moment ran 6th to Godspeed in the 1000 guineas and seems like one more suited to the 1200 metre trip. Thursday morning with V. Joda in the saddle saw her matching pace with Geronimo as the pair clocked 1 minute 5 seconds over 1000 metres, taking 38 seconds for the last 600. Classic Moment finished easily 2 lengths ahead of the latter. Westphalia from Nosher Kama's yard ran 5th in the 1000 guineas, with the company proving too much for her. She too will be stepping up to 2400 metres for the first time and would have to put up her best performance yet. At trackwork, she had Jeetu on board as she ran alongside Oxbridge with Neeraj Rawal on top over 1000 metres. The pair galloped easily, stopping the clock at 1 minute 11 seconds, taking 41 seconds for the last 600 metres.
Well, and we will bring you that race right here on the Winning Post. We'll take a short break on that note and come back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Winning Post. It's time for us to now head over to Singapore for us to take a look at the latest news and action from there. The Open Benchmark 74 on the 9th of January saw 12 horses coming to the parade ring for the contest to be run over 1600 metres on the polytrack. Leading the pack, no pun intended, was Good Pack from Leslie Koo's yard, who was coming into this contest after a gap of an entire year. He had run 4th in his previous outing, the Group 3 Woodlands Classic Stakes over 2000 metres in Jan of last year, and would now be looking at finding his form with apprentice jockey W.S. Chan in the saddle. Seed of Speed from Friedman's yard was also coming into this contest on the back of a 3rd place finish in another Open Benchmark 74 over 1600 metres on the polytrack. This was on the 12th of December, and he'd now be looking to shedding his maiden status with Corey Brown piloting him. The Steve Burridge trained Nation Theatre was coming into this contest, having run 9th in the Open Benchmark 67 over 1800 metres on the polytrack on the 14th of December. Before that, he had won the Kranji Stakes D over 1600 metres on the polytrack and would be looking at producing the same form here with apprentice jockey Firdaus in the saddle.
stalls, and they're all ready and they're away. And an awkward start from Dragon Perk, who was the last away, and good speed coming from Good Pack and also Nation Theatre. They're the first two as they work around the first bend, and WS Chan going forward on Good Pack is going to lead the field over Nation Theatre. Just got a little tight for that horse around the first bend. Seat of Speed improving, and so too on the outside. Great Light might accommodate and give Seat of Speed some cover. Further back then to Born Academy, who's back in about 5th or 6th. High Troja is there as well, going through near the inside. To Be Remembered out wide. A few lengths away, U-to-1 as they string out, and this Arowana.com is further back, about 2 lengths away Invictus. Then came the mare Sweet Lodge, and about 4 lengths away Dragon Perk last of all. So down the far side they go, and first up for almost a year, it's Good Pack who leads out here from Great Light, and also Nation Theatre, who's right behind the front runner, and that trio have moved about 5 lengths in front. Seat of Speed happy enough to let the front three get away. Then High Troja next on the inside. To Be Remembered's been sitting out deep. U-to-1 in the orange colours over near the rails, being followed by Born Academy. Further back then Arowana.com, Invictus a mile back with Sweet Lodge, and also up towards the turn Dragon Perk is last of all. Well, Good Pack on the turn. Boy, he's giving a great display. First up for 12 months, he swings in front. Can his legs keep going here? He's about 3 in front from Nation Theatre, Great Light, and now Seat of Speed produced down the middle. To Be Remembered and U-to-1 further back, and down the outside is Sweet Lodge. Good Pack still in front. Seat of Speed about 2 lengths away, trying hard from Nation Theatre. They're flat out catching this horse. It's Good Pack. What a fantastic return. WS Chan does it again. Good Pack wins it by 2.5.
I see the class is his underclass horse. Look like a very good chance with my claiming 4. Then I know it's not much leading horse inside, and I just lead here and take a seat and wait for the straight and let him go. He just run off himself.
Good Pack made an emphatic return to form after a year-long absence as he went start to finish with 2.5 lengths to spare over Seat of Speed and Nation Theatre. Good Pack has taken his winning tally to 4 from 24 starts with stake earnings of over $300,000. The restricted maiden on the 11th of January saw 11 thoroughbreds line up at the starting gates looking at shedding their maiden status in this contest over 1200 meters on the polytrack. The field included Michael Friedman's trained Mighty Man, who was making his first career start and would be looking at Nuet to guide him home. So Simple from ZL Mox Yard had run last in his previous start. It was another restricted maiden which was on the 7th of December, and that was over 1600 meters. He would be looking at improving with Woodworth on board. The favoured one here, however, was the Laurie Laxon trained Wiper, who had run 3rd on debut in his restricted maiden over 1100 meters on the poly. He was expected to run a big one here with Manuel Nunez on his back. It wasn't long before the field left the parade ring, made their way to the start, and was set off cleanly by the starter.
All set, and they're away and racing now, and Mighty Man begins nicely. So Simple going up towards the front, and behind those Waipar is starting to improve as well, being followed by Fast Jet, Pioneer Liu, and further back in the race then Black Label the inside, being followed by Fast Rich, and then came Black Diamond. Zenit out wide from No Smoking Jeff, and Gold Kids has gone back to last, but So Simple has cleared the field here for a Woodworth and leads out by a length and a half to Mighty Man, who relaxes beautifully into a second. Then Pioneer Liu, who's dashing around the outside. Black Label's back and forth. Waipar there just seemed to get a little awkward. He's back in about 5th, the favourite, being followed by in the head of the others there, Fast Rich on the rails, and then came Fast Jet behind those with No Smoking Jeff. Black Diamond a long way back with Gold Kids, and also Zenit out the back, but So Simple comes around the turn, 400 out, giving chase there is Mighty Man. Black Label the rails, then Waipar being followed by the head of the rest, then Fast Rich and Fast Jet coming down the outside with No Smoking Jeff. Good finish coming up here, and Mighty Man's dash to the front from So Simple. Black Label's going for a narrow inside run behind those, but Mighty Man's gone clear. Then we've got making ground Fast Rich and Waipar down the outside, but Mighty Man, it's not going to be a big win, but he's going to get there, and Mighty Man's going to win it first.
Yeah, look, he's a lovely horse. He's got a great attitude, and for a horse having his first start, he's very professional. He jumped, he put himself on the speed, and he was out of petrol the last sort of 50 to 100 metres, but his raw ability got him over the line.
Mighty Man was in second for the better part of the race, but accelerated at the business end to snatch the lead from So Simple, who had to settle for second. Black Label from Desmond Coe's yard was third, while the favourite Waipar was fifth. Mighty Man is a son of O'Reilly and he clocked a time of 1:13.84 to take home this debut victory. The Kranji Stakes C on the 11th of January saw 9 thoroughbreds come into the parade ring for the contest to be run over 1,000 meters on the polytrack. Bellwether from Michael Friedman's yard was coming into this contest on the back of a second place finish in the Chevron 2008 Stakes, a Class 3 race over 1,200 meters on the polytrack. He would be looking at going one better this time around with Corey Brown on board. The Leticia Dragon trained race no doubt enjoyed the maximum share of support from the market, and it wasn't surprising considering his success record of 3 wins from 6 starts. He had however run 5th last time out in another Kranji Stakes C over 1100 meters on the polytrack and would be looking to getting back to the winner's circle with John Paul in the saddle. Gato Negro from Alvin Tan's yard was coming into this contest on the back of a 3rd place finish in the Kranji Stakes C over the shortest distance of 1,000 meters. From the barrier draw of 9, he'd need all of Oscar Chavez's skills to help him overcome that disadvantage. The field soon left the parade ring and made their way to the starting gate. Wasn't long before the starters set them off for this scurry.
And they're away and racing now, and Bellwether, he's not going to try and lead, I don't think. Honest Truth is happy enough to go forward, and Bellwether was happy enough to let him go forward. California Eagle moves up on the outside into 3rd, and then Gato Negro from Gorikana and Raise No Doubt back centre field. Then Bay and Exquisitely Sweet and Mr. Marnie in the pink is out wide and in last position. So Honest Truth, he's got the front relatively comfortably, and now Bellwether's moving up. California Eagle out 3 out is charging forward for the back, then Gato Negro and Raise No Doubt right behind the first few. Gorikana over near the fence from Exquisitely Sweet. Then Bayan, who's about 6 or 7 off the lead as they swing. And Mr. Marnie, Honest Truth, he goes for it now. Bellwether continues to travel strongly. 300 metres to go, and Bellwether's gone by Honest Truth, whose history Raised No Doubt about 2 or 3 lengths away, winding up. Bellwether 200 metres out. He's about 2.5 in front. Raised No Doubt is trying very hard, but Bellwether's got a pretty hefty break here. Raised No Doubt doing his best work late on, but Bellwether's done enough to see him home. It's Bellwether first 3/4.
Look, he's a lovely horse. He's just a horse that he's very highly strung, and he gets out in front normally or near the front, and he races through the bridle, but he's slowly but surely relaxing, and he relaxed well today from a good barrier, sat outside the lead, held him to about the 200, and then he's guaranteed to give you a good kick. So mentally he's starting to come 100%, but he's still got a little way to go, but he's definitely a horse that's on the up. Yeah, well, I could see Raise No Doubt coming at me probably about the 100 metre mark, but I felt that I was always going to hold him. I still had enough horse to hold him out, but my horse, he's still got a bit of improvement in him. We're not at the bottom of him yet. He'll jump up in class, and no doubt he'll be competitive.
Bellwether took up the running with 300 metres to go and kicked away, fending off a late challenge from Raise No Doubt to cross the winning post in under a minute. Gato Negro was 3rd. Bellwether is a son of Bel Esprit and has taken his earnings to over 130,000 Singapore dollars with this victory.
Well, on that note, it's time for a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Winning Post. It's time now for us to, well, learn a little bit about the sport of horse racing.
If the reins can be equated to the steering wheel of a car, then the bit is the steering shaft of a car. This is what makes a horse respond to a jockey's instructions. In the equestrian world, including horse racing, there are a number of different types of bits for different uses and problems. Julie Burridge explains.
In horse racing and in any equestrian field, there are lots of different bits you can use. You know, they have different uses for the horse and what it does and things like that. In racing, there's 3 or 4 bits we use, you know, particularly like Dexter ring bits, snaffles. We use Dutch gags, which are not really supposed to be used. They're for show jumping, but we do use them, incorporate them into our training every day. Every horse is fitted with his own bridle. That saves a lot of misunderstanding when you put it on every day. We have 3 main bits of our choice used in horse racing. We have this Dexter or ring bit. It has a nutcracker action, so when you pull on the reins it does crunch the horse's mouth slightly. and it also has a ring which stops the bit from going through the horse's mouth. It is a good and sort of safe bit to use and a common bit to use in horse racing, because you do have to have some degree of control, so you do need a little bit of you know, the slight nutcracker action and the ring. We also use just a normal snaffle on horses. This is a nice wide one, it's very soft and it has cheekers, and that stops the bit from sliding through the horse's mouth. This is a Dutch gag. It's used in show jumping in Europe actually, and we use that on some horses that we'd like to bring their heads down. It has a leverage action. You pull and it just puts a bit of pressure on the pole rather than always on the horse's mouth. Like any bit, if it's used in the wrong hands, it can be a very dangerous tool. And it's an extension of the rider's hands. These bits in the horse's mouth are an extension of your hands. And if you ride a horse and jam him up constantly, you're going to drive the horse mad and you're not going to progress in training. It's also really dangerous if you control his forward energy too much in your hands. The horse is liable to go up. The energy has to go somewhere. So you have to make sure that you go forward with, the horse is able to go forward with the right bit, the right rider, and so you get the desired result. And evidently we want the horses to be well educated for race day, to win a race for the jockey, to be able to get the horse into the barrier and steer properly. A bit in the wrong hands can be a very dangerous tool. Horses respond kindly to somebody who has a feel for the horse's mouth, and they respond, you know, in the right way, and you can train a horse properly if you have a rider that has an empathy for the horse's movement, motion and balance. If you have a rider that pulls the horse around and aggravates the horse through his mouth, you're going to run into all sorts of problems. So it's important to have a good fitting bit and bridle and a good rider, and hopefully you'll be able to train the horse to do the event or the thing that you want him to do.
Putting on a bit needs to be an exact process, as a bit that is too loose or too tight may not bring about the desired response from the horse.
I put the bridle on the horse, and I'd like to show you that it's a little bit lower in the horse's mouth. When I take up the pressure of the reins, it's got a lot of movement there, and I mean it's just going to cause the horse mixed messages. It's too loose, too much play in the mouth, it's hanging. He can also get his tongue over that pretty easily. If he was going to flick his tongue up, there would be an opportunity for him to get his tongue over, and it's just a horrible, unsightly thing for me to see that. So I really like to see the bits nice and high up in the horse's mouth for racing.
The rule of thumb is to allow for one wrinkle at the point of contact between the horse's mouth and the bit.
I've put the bridle up a few holes, and as you can see, it's a lot more comfortable for the horse, a lot easier to steer the horse, and he's going to have less of an opportunity to get his tongue over, and makes riding a lot easier and a lot more pleasant.
Some horses develop a habit of slipping its tongue over the bit in a race. This renders the jockey's communication as ineffective and affects performance too. This is a situation that must be corrected. The use of a tongue depressant or a tongue tie usually are the most common methods of addressing this problem, as in many cases the tongue tie especially serves for more than one purpose.
Tongue tie can be applied to the horse to stop him from getting his tongue over the bit if he's already learnt that bad habit, or if he displaces his palate. Some people believe that it works to pull the tongue forward and will help release the airway at the back of the throat and increase the airflow. So I hope it works, because we use it quite a bit. It's a little bit uncomfortable at first, but they do get used to it, and we try not to do it too tight so that they do have some blood flowing to the tip of the tongue and everything, and they do get used to it.
Sometimes bits can cause problems of their own if not correctly managed from the start, and problems can vary from hard to soft mouths. In several cases, some horses may need to be retrained in order to willingly accept the bit again.
If your rider comes to you and tells you, "Boss, the horse has a hard mouth," this is probably due to a lot of mileage in the horse, and he's been a little bit resisting the pressure on the bit. He could be sore in his mouth, You could try changing the bit, you could try changing the rider, changing the training, put him in the swimming pool, no bit for a while, put him on a treadmill with no bit. You might have to re-educate the horse, which means going right back to basics and softening his mouth right up. Horses' mouths are very, very sensitive. It's like your own mouth. The last thing you want to be is pulled around in the mouth by a metal bit. So everything all works together with the racehorse. You have to have a good rider with good hands that's not going to use the horse's mouth as a weapon against the horse when it does something wrong. And that's basically what we're aiming to do.
All in all, the bit is as important as anything to ensure not just a well-performed and motivated horse, but one that's happy and willing as well.
Well, and that's all we have on this episode of The Winning Post. As always, thank you for joining me. Do remember to follow me on Twitter at Mohit Lalwani for, well, the latest tips from the world of horse racing. As always, thanks for joining me. Goodbye, and may the horse be with you.